Regina, would you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you, everyone, and welcome. Our agenda doesn't look too awfully long, so why don't we start with the approval of tonight's agenda.
Entertain a motion to approve the agenda for October 20, 2021. A second.
All in favor? Aye. Anyone opposed? Thank you. And the minutes.
Motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes for October 4th, 2021. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We'll just right to the student body report. Regina.
Hi. So regular season sports are coming to an end if they haven't already finished. Our girls soccer team is second seed, and they play Canisteo Greenwood home on Friday at 6 for the quarterfinals. They beat Sodas last night 8-0 on our home turf, so that was awesome. The boys are fourth seeded. They got a bye today. They're playing the winner of the Pavilion York versus Marcus Whitman game that's going on right now on Saturday at 6 for quarterfinals. The cross-country regular season has ended. Their counties are coming up. They don't have an exact date, so I don't have an exact date. The volleyball season is still going. I was just at their regular season game in York. They are winning, so hopefully that's still going. Their senior night is Friday in the gym. And then the football regular season ends Friday in Oakfield. Our student council is having a spirit week leading up to Halloween. You'll see posters around the school. I had to hang them during my study hall today. So, our clubs are having their more regular meetings than last year, thankfully. So everything's going back to normal. We're allowed to have our lunch meetings. We're allowed to have our after-school meetings. It's actually really nice. Our senior class is having a fundraiser right now at UHOTS and Lighter-Side. So if you guys get out before 8, mention the senior class. Go to Lighter-Side for dinner. Yeah. I already have my order. It's getting picked up in 10 minutes. So, our drama club, we're having a fall showcase, and 9 to 5 is being moved to the spring. So our dates for 9 to 5 are being finalized. Sounds like mid-March, but they're still being finalized. Our showcase sounds like it's going to be the weekend that 9 to 5 would have been in November, but that's still being finalized. Also, that's just like us showing what we can do. The theme of it is stages of relationships, so it'll kind of be like a storytelling aspect while we're performing. And then, are there any questions?
You said the showcase. How is that going to be?
I don't have a ton of details other than we are having workshops at night and getting our set finalized before we have dates and audience numbers and participation. So, are there any other questions? Okay, before I turn it over to Jamie, who is our new middle school representative, who can come stand up next to me for now. Jamie is my little cousin. If you look at me, she looks just like me.
Hi.
She will be taking over as the middle school rep this year. But the student body, on behalf of the student body and student council, we would like to wish you a happy Board of Ed Appreciation Week. Mr. Holt should have a presentation.
Thank you.
Maybe?
I do, just patience.
Stand by. Thank you for that.
Yeah. Yeah. We're gonna stand over here.
Happy School Board Recognition Week.
Oh,
Thank you, Board of Education.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Movie star.
Thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for caring about us.
Thank you for guiding us through these difficult times.
Thank you for listening to us. Thank you for improving our school.
Thank you for dedicating our time to us.
Hello, Logan. Thank you for being at school. Thank you for everything you do. Go Blue Devils.
Thank you, Board of Education.
Thank you, Board of Ed.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
for everything you do for our school.
Isn't that nice? That's great. Thank you so much. That is great.
And I believe these are from us too. This is you. Yeah, those are from student council.
Are they locale?
Probably.
Okay, great.
They're good, like
I'm
that's all
sure
that
they
matters.
are. So, Jamie, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
We're happy to have you.
Thank you.
I did share with Jamie, we walked up the hallway together. I said,
Okay.
This is the favorite part of the board meetings,
It
when
is.
the students
We
do
love
their
this.
updates, so.
Yep.
Well, recently, student council has put together a Halloween Spirit Week. Next week, consisting of some fun dress-up days. October 29th, there will be a costume contest during middle and high school lunch. The first meeting of the School Gay Straight Alliance met last week and will be meeting weekly throughout the rest of the year. Mr. A reports that middle school art club has begun. It's been fun and there will be new activities. This club is only offered for 7th graders due to the schedule change for 2021. For the middle school, high school foreign language club, students will be meeting next week to learn about the Day of the Dead. The year group club started 2 weeks ago. The official meeting was last Wednesday and it was a good success. For sports, the fall season is finishing up. Girls modified soccer won their previous game. Their last game is tomorrow. Boys modified soccer has their last game tomorrow as well. Modified cross country will have an invitational in Alexander this Friday. Good luck to all of them. Modified volleyball won their final game for this season. And modified football finishes today. And as one season wraps up, another one begins. So on October 25th, modified basketball and wrestling will be starting. And does anyone have any questions?
Awesome.
Very nice
Great
and
job.
Excellent report. Thank you. Very good.
I have to go pick up my lighter sign.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you.
All right, thank you. Which brings us to the superintendent's report.
Well, thank you, David. Open the one in here. And in light, just wanted to also, on behalf of the administrative team and myself, thank you for all the time that you do spend, the countless hours, sometimes the thankless hours of spending your time on the Board of Education. It is certainly appreciated, and the leadership starts at the top, so thank you for all that you do for our school.
Thank you.
We did start our first week of mandated testing, and one of the things that we really want to be careful is that we are referring to the people as unverified. So we want to make sure that we are continuing to really be very mindful of confidentiality. People who are coming for the test, they may be vaccinated, but they may just not be wanting to show us their vaccination card. So it's important that we refer to them as unverified. We don't want to make assumptions about their vaccination status. That is absolutely someone's personal ability to say whether or not they've been vaccinated or not. So right now, we did start with our unverified staff. And WorkFit, we talked about last time, is the contractual company that's coming in on Fridays. The process, I really have to thank the nurses and Sherry. Everything was set up very, very organized. It went very smoothly. And we are currently testing 9% of our unverified staff. So very few, I think it was 18 or 19 staff members that did come. We are also, now this does include coaches, substitutes, bus drivers. So we need to make sure that as substitutes come on board for the day, that they are either tested for that day or they do show that they have verified their vaccination status. So really pleased that that went as smoothly as it did. And we are, we scheduled the strategic plan meeting. Unfortunately, due to my absence, we were unable to have that first meeting, so we are on November 4th. We will be facilitated by Dr. Chuck Fowler and Dr. Howard Smith. You'll see the members on the committee. We are still waiting for a sports booster rep. When we had originally scheduled the meeting, there wasn't anyone from sports boosters that could attend. So we are offering a Zoom and in-person meeting for this meeting. So hopefully someone will be able to attend that meeting. It is 1 to 4 on the 4th. And so hopefully we do have someone. And if not, at least maybe we can get someone from sports boosters to at least give us times that would work for them. So we're excited about that process.
What time is the meeting on the 4th?
1 to 4. And then tomorrow evening, we do have our building planning task force meeting. And we have sent the email to our community members, really giving them an opportunity to meet with our architect and our construction manager and ask questions, bring up concerns that they may have had. I really feel that we did a nice job of gathering that information from those user groups. The architects would go back, make those plans, come back, meet with the user group. So I really think we are in a good spot as far as where we are in our plan development. But again, want to hear the feedback from the community that spent well over a year in that first planning stage with Mr. Hayes. So excited about that meeting. Any questions?
Can anybody attend that meeting, the building meeting?
It's tomorrow.
Can anybody?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Anyone can. Yep, in fact, we put it on the sign out front just to let people know anyone could show up and join, absolutely. This is a community project. We want as much information and questions and feedback that we can receive for that process.
We good?
You're good?
Thank you. Item 4, community relations. No one signed up to speak? Okay, very good. Which takes us right to committee reports. Go to audit and finance with
Yeah.
Mike and committee.
We met tonight with Mengel Metzger Bar to review the annual audit. So I guess the simple statement to make is it was an awesome, great audit. Really no issues of any kind. They looked at and have some recommendations that we continue monitoring the lunch program going forward, and that's more to do with coming out of the COVID period as opposed to anything that we've done. So it's just simply that as we transition post-COVID, so to speak, the lunch program is one area that certainly requires some attention. The other recommendations they made is to continue looking at and monitoring our cybersecurity to make sure that we are well protected, all the data and so on. We discussed an accounting change, an accounting rules change for GASB, Statement 87 associated with how we manage and monitor leases or certain arrangements. It probably will not affect us in any way, but it's an area that we take a close look, continue to look at. And I just want to kind of, from this point, say kudos to the business office, to Ken, to Stephanie. They not only have a very good report this time, but part of this report was also fixing all the things that had been done in prior, or recommendations done in prior audits, specifically related to how we handle purchase orders, some opt-out for TRS, ERS related, some of the procedure manuals and so on. So done a tremendous job. It was really a very, very good audit. The full report will be delivered to the board, I think, by the next meeting at the latest, sometime in that time frame. I think that, did I miss anything?
No, I think you covered it.
The other thing we talked through and are starting to talk through is the budget calendar. So, obviously in early December, it'll be following the same process we followed in the past, associated with meeting with all of the faculty, department heads, and so on first, and then, culminating into the vote next May.
I might just add that I thought about it at the meeting, for everybody's information, the issue with the cafeteria really is just that our fund balance is falling. We're losing money on the lunch program. But I also think that many times in the past, auditors have told us, almost all schools, they've always said, wow, you guys don't lose money on the lunch program, and most do. So as much as it's I'd say it's a fairly minor problem, I guess was the takeaway in my mind. And we're kind of at least back running close to even now that the kids are in school 5 days, so.
I'm glad you clarified that. My recollection was that we typically run in the black in the cafeteria,
we have.
which is unusual for a school district.
Yes.
So, kudos to you folks. And
We don't like to lose money.
serving that prime rib really helps out.
Good wish.
Great. Good. Good.
Anything else? Any other policy?
I guess everybody's good. Policy, we haven't met, and we have to get back in a routine, maybe the second meeting in November. How do we plan on that? Okay, we plan on the second meeting in November. GCEF, I couldn't attend, but Cindy did, and she assured me she'd take the notes. So, anything from that?
Yes, they did approve, we did have a proposal in for the Do-Gooders Club, and if you remember, that was one of the clubs that we did add to the GFA contract. And what they had asked for was recyclable can containers to place around the school to gather our water and soda cans and bottles throughout the day so that they can then recycle that and use the earnings towards bringing in speakers or doing anything for the school. And it really is, it's a club that has worked really hard. As I said, this is the first year that they've been in the contract and earned a stipend, where in the past they just gave a lot of time and did a lot of great things for our school. So that proposal was approved, and then there was just really a brief discussion on where the account status is, and I know that there was a substantial donation that I believe you wanted to speak to.
Yeah, you might remember at the last meeting, we received a $10,000 donation towards their scholarship fund. And I didn't give the name of the folks that donated in case they wanted to be anonymous, but I saw them recently and I said, would you mind if we announced it? And they said, fine. Well, the very generous couple is Joe and Megan Busey. Joe Jr. Donated the $10,000 to the scholarship fund. Incredibly generous.
Mhm.
So, that was that.
That was that.
Okay. You good?
Yep.
Can we go right to personnel?
So there's a number of pages here in the personnel area, so I'll entertain a consent motion to approve items 6.02 through 6.17.
Okay.
Second?
Any questions on any of those?
I have just one. For the part-timers, what access are they gonna have to the offices and classrooms?
The student custodians?
Yeah,
They're not.
none? Okay.
There'll be, some of them will be empty trash and class.
So they'll have their own site keys? So someone will be with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be super.
Most supervision?
Good. Very good. Anything else? Any of those?
Like you're taking steps to try to increase the amount of staff that we can get in for substitutes, and also just again 6.15. You give GFA, thank you for GFA for volunteering to their time during school day, which is a big thing with substitutes and their time. So thank you.
Mhm.
Yes. Thank you indeed.
Thank you.
And just as a discussion item, we would not have been able to cover classes if our GFA members hadn't been willing to step up during these times, give up their planning and prep, and cover these classes. So, you know, you see great things when a school is struggling, and once again, our staff has stepped up and really made a positive impact on helping out in a difficult time.
I'm delighted to see a couple of substitute school bus drivers in the pipeline. That is huge. That is huge. So that will help a lot. Anything else on the personnel? If not, all in favor, say aye.
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 Anyone opposed? Unanimous, thank you. So we go to
Okay.
new business.
In the area of new business, entertain a consent motion for items 7.02 to 7.06.
Second?
Questions on any of those? I notice we've been getting a lot of late requests for private parochial, and it's fine the way the law reads. If you're going there anyway, you got room on the bus, you can grant it, but there's been an awful lot of them. I wonder if April 15th is the official deadline. I wonder if around March 1st, we should send a note to the schools and say, hey, look, it's April 15th, you might remind your parents to send in your request. You know, it might not hurt.
There's only a couple in the area. We can make that.
Yeah, well, this is it. Yeah, really. It's only 2. Okay. Any other questions on those items? Okay, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Business office.
Entertain a motion to approve item 8.02.
Second?
Questions on that item?
Thank you for the donation.
Generous donation
Yes.
by Chris O'Brien for the baseball teams. Great.
Maybe that'll help the trip, I would assume?
Oh, I bet, yeah, good. Okay, all in favor of that motion, say aye.
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Unanimous, thank you. Which brings us to a discussion item. We have a proposed date, a possible date of a board retreat on the 8th from like, was it 5:30 to 7:30, something like that. And so I thought, it might be good for us to just hash it over. Number one, number one is everybody good for a retreat, number one? Number two, how does that date look for everyone? Number three is, what would you like to see in it? Number four, do you think we need a facilitator? And so I ask all of you to put your thinking caps on and share your ideas on that for tonight. I know I saw Mike's note this afternoon.
So I guess I'll jump in. I'm personally okay on the 8th. I don't know if Chris can make it on the 8th, but I could do it on the 9th too, but I teach until 6 p.m., so that's one caution I have. If we do move it to a Tuesday or Thursday,
Okay.
just gotta be after 6 p.m. for me. Facilitator, I think we can do it ourselves, personally. Those of us around the table right here, talk through whatever the issues are. I know we got a lot on the table. We got a lot going on for the capital project, and I think that is probably certainly among the most critical items we have to address. How does that relate, not just to the construction of it, but what does that mean in terms of STEAM or arts or athletics, from a curriculum perspective? And I think just having that conversation, I think, would be helpful to us. I'm sure there's other topics that others may have, but that to me is probably the number one item for us this year. We've got a lot going on, and that schedule, as soon as it starts heating up, as soon as we get the approvals from SED, it's going to mean a lot of effort on a lot of parts of a lot of people. The faculty, the admin team, facilities, the coordination of that during construction periods. What do we do first? I think those are one of the critical items, I think. I'm not sure. Was that 1, 2, 3,
Yep, that was
4 questions? I'm not
very
sure.
good.
Did I miss any questions?
Very good, very good. Anybody else, any other thoughts? I know Chris said that the 8th might be bad for you.
Earlier, I mean, you just have to leave it to everybody, you just have kids go multiple directions at night. That may make it more difficult than others, move it up earlier in the day. Tuesday, I could do that Tuesday or Thursday, but that depends on, again, if people go later, they want to go later. And then, like, I think we can handle ourselves. I think, you know, there's a lot on the table, is on the plate. The building planning task force being one, but, you know, we still are dealing with COVID. We're still dealing with curriculum, teaching, learning. The students should all be at the forefront. So I think that, you know, there's many layers that we're here. There's something now from the state with culturally responsive teaching, diversity, equity, inclusion, SEL, trying to balance rigor and relationships. I mean, there's so many layers to think about. So.
Yeah, one of the things I want to caution, it sounds like some of the goals and topics that you're mentioning are more of the district goals and not the Board of Education goals. So certainly the capital project, fiscal planning, policy, oversight of evaluating need, those are all very much the board goals and responsibilities. When we get into more of that curriculum, diversity, equity, the social emotional, and that really is the administrative team's goals.
Okay, great. Yep. Chris, if we went from the 8th to the 15th, and that, how would that work for you? How would that work for everybody?
Is it 15th of May?
For the superintendent.
We have a board meeting.
Go before?
Pardon?
The 15th is a board meeting.
Oh, that's right, I was thinking that was a Wednesday. How's Wednesday night for
The 10th?
people? Maybe the 10th?
Sorry.
I have an obligation on the 10th.
Okay.
Throw some dates out. Yeah.
And while we're also looking at it, I do also just want to remind, we did do the board evaluations that were already, each of you had filled out that evaluation on our functioning and governance. And so that analysis and that agenda, I mean, we have paid for, certainly we can facilitate the meeting on ourselves. We have paid for that agenda to already be created and the analysis of that evaluation. So I just want to be, you know, transparent that that money has been spent in that area. If we wanted to move forward this year with that, we can. If we decide that that's not a direction we want to move in, that's also, but I just want to make sure everyone is clearly aware of where we are in that process.
So that survey that we filled out, which was the same as we filled out a year ago.
Yep.
Has to do with governance and the relationship, the board responsibilities, relationship with superintendent. I think we're pretty good on that. But yeah, certainly we should get the results of it, as long as we paid for it.
Okay.
So folks, am I hearing that we need to hunt for dates? We need to put some potential dates out there?
Or if ever we can do the 8th, what time are we gonna start it?
What were we talking?
It was 5:30.
5:30?
What time do you have to be somewhere?
Well, yeah, that's the fun. It is what it is, I mean. Yeah, I'll make what I can make and go from there.
So you want the 8th?
No, I'll just do the best I can do in all areas. It is what it is.
Okay. So let's do the 8th, you know, do the best you can. I think, like we always find, to get a date that all of us are together are virtually impossible.
Right.
And
So,
you don't even know what's gonna come up.
right. Now, so let's do the 8th at 5:30, and let's have a couple of volunteers help Cindy with the agenda. A couple of people be willing to do that. Mike, would you?
Yeah.
Chris, Kathy?
What I can do is send out the draft of what we originally had planned, and we can tweak that.
How's that sound? Okay. Great, okay, you good?
Okay, 5:30 on the 8th.
5:30 on the 8th. Good, thank you, everyone. Okay. We good? Are we done? I think that we are ready to
Okay.
entertain a motion to go into executive session to discuss litigation.
Okay. Take a motion to go into executive session for litigation.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everyone.